We can now animate things we were never able to animate with Webflow interactions before, and it really gives your site a premium look and feel. In this video, we'll learn how to set it up. So let's look at a couple examples of this in action. I'll head to Figma and right click on the SVG and click copy as SVG. Then here in Webflow, we'll launch SVG import app, and I'll just click in here and paste it in. I'll give the SVG a class of SVG and position it something like absolute to the bottom of its parent. Now inside that SVG, we have the path, and under settings, we'll add an attribute. It's going to be stroke dash and then the word dash array. And then I'll add two values. I'll do 60 space 20. So that means the dash is each 60 long and the gap between them is each 20. Now, if I use a larger number like 300 for the gap, now we're only seeing two lines. If I use a really large number like 3000, now I'm only seeing the one line. Now we need to figure out how long this dash should be to fill up the SVG. And this is going to vary depending on your SVG. For mine, 500 gets it pretty close. 550 is almost there, and it looks like 560 completely fills it. So we want to animate this from 0 to 560 to see that line draw on. And previously, we wouldn't be able to animate numbers like that with native interactions. But now, because we can animate variables, all we have to do is wrap this 560 in a calc, like so. And then we'll multiply it, this asterisk, times var, and I'll create a variable called dash dash progress. Now, if I add a comma here, I can set the fallback so we can kind of preview it. So if the progress is 0, the line's completely hidden. If it's 0.5, the line's halfway done drawing on. And when the progress is 1, the line is fully revealed. So all we need to do is animate that progress variable from 0 to 1 to draw on our line. Now, if I head to interactions and I create a page load interaction here, we'll add an action, we'll see we can now animate variables. Now in here, if I try to add a variable, it only lets us choose from variables that are in our variable panel. So I'll head to that panel and I'll create a new number variable and we'll call this progress. I'll leave it set to 0 by default. And then here we can now go ahead and animate our progress variable to a progress of 1. And when we play that, we'll notice the line is drawing on. Now I'm going to use an ease of something like power 4 in out, so it's really slow at the beginning and end, and it speeds up in the middle. I'll set the duration to 0.7, so we really see it kind of slow down and then speed up in the middle, so it goes shoop, and it just kind of speeds up and creates a really nice smooth effect. Now from here, what we'll need to note is that when we animate a variable like this, it's animating it on the whole page. So if we have another one of these sections, and let's say we actually created a scroll into view animation instead, whenever this section scrolls into view, it's animating not just the line in this section, but the line in every section. Now that could be fine if you're only really able to see one of them at a time, but it could be an issue if they're really close together. So that's just something to keep in mind. A limitation with the native interactions is we can't animate variables on a single element. It has to be animated on the entire page. That means we can't reuse the progress variable we already created across different types of animations. We need a unique progress variable for each animation type, since we can't animate on single elements. So for instance, here I have a clip path animation. And for that, we can animate this border radius. It's at 0, or it's at 1.5. We can animate it to 0. And then if I animate it to like between that, you'll notice the radius just increasing. Now here, this is the offset between top and bottom, and that can be like 10% or 20%. And then this is the offset from left and right. So again, 10%, 30%. So we can animate all those numbers. So what I'll do is I'll copy this whole inset clip path. And then here on my hero section, under custom properties, I'll just paste this in. So now it's fully clipped. And we want to animate this 20% to 0. So I'll wrap it in a calc. And I want to multiply it by a variable. I'm going to create a variable called clip. And then that I also want to do the same for this 30%. So wrap it in a calc, multiply it by a variable called clip. And then we'll do the same thing for this border radius here. So wrap it in a calc, and then we'll go ahead and multiply it by a variable called clip. So then what we can do is head to our variable panel here. We can create a new number variable. This one's going to be called clip. And in this case, we actually want it to start at 1. And that way we're seeing this fully clipped state. And then as we start animating this towards 0, it's going to start decreasing this percentage here and decreasing the radius here. So if we were to see that in action, we'll head to our variables here, or to our interactions. We'll open up Let's rename this one to be animate line. And then we'll create a new action here, variable, and this one's going to be animate clip. And then for this, we're just going to animate the clip here. We can animate it to 0 from 1 where it was at. So it's going to start kind of fully revealed, and then it sort of unmasked like that. So I'm going to drag this to the beginning so we see it unmasked here. Let's do an in-out ease as well. I'm going to use like a power 3 in-out. And let's really kind of slow it down some so we see kind of the exaggeration of it opening up. So that's looking nice. And then let's move the line back a little so we don't really want to see the line draw on until like it's mostly fully unmasked. We might be able to like push it forward a little bit there. And then one other thing we might want to do is animate in the text in the container. So for that, I'm going to add an action. This is just going to be a regular animate action. And my hero section here, I'll filter it down and, or actually let's select a container, an EU container, and we'll say we'll filter it when it's inside of, so we'll say whenever it is within a hero section. That way we're only animating this one container. And let's animate it from opacity 0 from a move. We'll do move X, or let's actually do move Y of 2 rem. And then so now if I uncheck this, that container content should just fade up. So I want that to happen before the line draws on. So we see like the unmask, the text reveal, and then the line draw on. So that's looking pretty nice there. Cool. And so now we're able to animate two things, both the line and the clip path that we wouldn't have been able to animate previously. And it really just creates a nice, unique looking feel to our website. So you can do that with any CSS property possible. Just multiply it by a variable, and then we can animate that variable to create some really nice effects.